In the shadowed crevices of our shared past, in the twilight between the known and the unknown, there lies a realm where the extraordinary masquerades as the mundane. This ethereal realm, adorned in velvety darkness, is home to those most elusive of phantoms, where stories shape-shift between the centuries, flutter on the breath of a whisper, a fleeting dream, or a chill running down one's spine. Good evening, my weary travelers. My name is Mr. Rook. I am your guide in these enigmatic hallowed halls where we shall illuminate the obscure and whisper life into the forgotten. Here, myth and superstition take center stage, where legends and folk tales from lands both near and far come to whisper their truths. Join me as we pull back the veil of this mundane world to reveal the magic that lies just beneath the surface of our everyday lives and peer into the heart of the arcane. Welcome, dear friends, to SkaryTales. Throughout history, hidden away in the corners of our world, cats have watched us with luminous, ageless eyes. These velvet-pawed phantoms have walked beneath our feet since time immemorial, their paths intertwined with our own, silently witnessing our triumphs and tribulations. Their tale and some of the curious beliefs surrounding them are what we shall unravel tonight. Felis catus, the common cat, may appear unassuming in its simplicity, but rest assured, these creatures hold a kaleidoscope of stories within their golden gaze. They've held such titles as companions, gods, devils, omens of doom, and bearers of fortune. From the sand-kissed lands of ancient Egypt to the deep green forests of Celtic folklore and onto the cobblestone streets of medieval Europe, cats have held a captivating hold over human imagination. Join us on this journey as we tread the hushed annals of time to understand why a mere cat's presence can stir up such a storm of superstitions. And just how did these feline companions, these midnight prowlers, become such integral figures in the realm of the uncanny? Prepare to step into the enigmatic world of cats so we may decode their mystical aura and understand why, when a black cat crosses your path, your heart just might skip a beat. This is SkaryTales, and our tale begins now. Our journey begins in a land far away, cradled by the mighty river Nile. Yes, ancient Egypt, where our feline companions were revered, cherished, and even worshipped. Long ago in ancient Egypt, it was believed that the sun god Atum-Ra took the form of a cat in order to visit the underworld. According to Egyptian mythology, Atum-Ra sired 8 more gods, thus giving rise, many scholars believe, to the possible origins of the belief in cats possessing 9 lives. One of the daughters of Ra, the lion-headed Sekhmet, an embodiment of divine wrath, was venerated with an awe-inspiring mixture of respect and fear. It was believed that the great Sahara Desert was born from her breath. As the goddess of war and medicine, her bloodlust was so legendary that some scholars believe she may have inspired some of the earliest myths of vampirism. Then there was Bastet, another feline deity. Gentle and protective, Bastet was often portrayed with the head of a cat and was more slender than her sister, Sekhmet. She was the goddess of pregnancy and childbirth, the guardian of the pharaoh, and the ward against evil spirits. Within the temple of Bubastis, an ancient sanctuary dedicated to Bastet, hundreds of mummified cats have been discovered, sacrificial offerings from devout followers to their beloved goddess. When not being used as offerings to appease the gods, cats were loved, protected, and even mourned. Killing a cat for any reason other than sacrifice was considered an unforgivable crime. In death, they were often laid to rest with their human counterparts. To prepare them for their journey to the afterlife, cats were mummified, their eternal slumber guarded for all eternity within ancient tombs. Such was the Egyptians' reverence for these mystical beings. From the sun-baked lands of ancient Egypt, we travel northward to the misty moors and deep fjords of the Celts and the Vikings. In Celtic lore, the elusive and unpredictable cat bore a potent connection within the mystical realm of the Siddur, the other world, a land of the Fae. The cat Sith, often appearing as a black cat with a small patch of white fur on its chest, was a figure of fascination, a shapeshifter who possessed the ability to move between the realms of mortal man and the supernatural. Across the sea, in the frozen lands of the Norse, cats found favor with Freyja, the beloved goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. She rode a chariot driven by powerful and magnificent cats. It was a spectacle of divine grandeur. Such was the feline's dance through the ages of long ago, a dance of reverence and adoration. Yet the wheel of time spares none from its relentless turn. As the curtain fell upon the gods of old, a new religion rose and spread throughout the world. However, the dawn of the Middle Ages was to cast a long, ominous shadow on our feline companions, a time when old beliefs crumbled and new fears arose. Our narrative now delves into the gloom-ridden era of the Middle Ages, an epoch when the world, once painted in vibrant hues of 1,000 stories, turned somber and grey, casting our feline companions into a maelstrom of suspicion and dread. As early Christianity began to shape the societal fabric, cats, particularly black cats, became pawns in a battle against heathen beliefs. Emblems of evil, omens of witchcraft, the cat's good image was drastically tarnished. It is often said that one man's words can change the course of history. And so it was when Pope Gregory IX issued his papal decree, Vox in Rama, in the 13th century. This decree condemned cats as diabolical creatures in collusion with the devil. And, so cruel was the fate of those days, thousands of innocent felines fell victim to a terrifying wave of mass hysteria. Fears are like shadows. They distort the harmless and innocent. And so our feline friends, creatures of twilight as they are, found themselves unwilling villains in a narrative born of superstition and ignorance. Witch trials soon became a tragic normality. A black cat by one side was seen as irrefutable proof of an unholy pact, a partnership in sorcery and heresy. Among mothers, a certain paranoia draped over their hearts. They whispered in hushed tones the ghastly tale of cats creeping into a babe's cradle, bewitched by the warm, sweet breath of the innocent one, to suck it away and leave an empty shell behind. And so the wheel of time turned once more. Cats, once the guardians against unseen maladies, were now scarce, their numbers dwindling by the day. In the light of day, superstitions often seem fragile and inconsequential, but under the cover of night, they take on a life of their own, transforming into horrifying realities. But as always, truth has a way of piercing through the veil of fear and darkness, albeit oftentimes far too late. In the absence of our feline guardians, mankind would be left vulnerable to a new foe. For a new shadow soon arose from the east and stretched out across all of Europe. A shadow not cast by any demon or witch, but by a silent stalker in the night, the bubonic plague. The Black Death, as it was more commonly called, was no respecter of status or strength. It covered its victims in festering boils and weaved a tapestry of fear and misery that hung heavily over all of Europe, marking houses and hearts with its dark insignia. The air smelled foul and filled with the cries of the dying. The streets lay haunted by specters in bird masks, and amongst it all, the rat, unseen, unnoticed, and yet the harbinger of this deadly plague. For as it happened, the insignificant fleas who stowed themselves away on the backs of these rats, with their gluttonous thirst for blood, were the true perpetrators. With each bite upon their unsuspecting victims, death spread. But where, you might ask, were our feline guardians in this hour of need? They, who once graced Egyptian temples and Norse chariots, what part did they play in this grim theater of life and death? Driven away by fear and superstition, the cat, Mother Nature's own remedy for the rat, was conspicuous in its absence. The black cat, once a deity, had now become a symbol of evil. In their ignorance, the peoples of the Middle Ages blamed the plague upon witchcraft and sorcery, and so, as before, cats were hunted and shunned, their numbers quickly diminished to a faint glimmer of what they once were. In this dance macabre, the unchecked rats thrived, and with them, so did the plague. It's a bitter irony that the very creatures persecuted as symbols of evil might have instead been our saviors in this dark time. Yet from the ashes of such devastation, lessons were learned, superstitions were questioned, and slowly, painfully, the wheel of time turned once more. And so the cat, resilient as ever, survived. With time, it began to reclaim its place by the hearth and in the hearts of people. In the grand tapestry of the ages, we find ourselves now in a period where superstitions are viewed with a curious blend of amusement and unease, an age where science strives to unravel the great mysteries that once stirred our hearts with fear and awe. Yet the cat, particularly the black cat, remains an enigma, its aura of mystery unfaded, as it still holds a curious power over our collective psyche. If a black cat crosses your path, is it an omen of misfortune, as some still believe? Or is it perhaps a bearer of good luck, as others insist? A paradox indeed. 27 years before Bram Stoker published his famous novel, Dracula, Joseph Le Fanu's 1871 novella featured the titular vampire antagonist, Carmilla, who stalked her victims at night in the form of a monstrous black cat-like creature. In Scotland, a strange black cat arriving at your home signifies prosperity. Far to the east, Japanese folklore speaks of the maneki neko, or the beckoning cat, and sees them as symbols of good luck and a ward against evil spirits. In the maritime lore of yesteryear, a ship's cat was considered a lucky charm and often a key member of the crew. And yet, every year, when green trees burn with leaves of fire and gold, and the day of All Hallows' Eve comes upon us, the image of the black cat becomes once again inseparable from the tales of witches and ghouls, a symbol of the occult, the eerie, and the uncanny. Such is the dichotomy of the cat, a creature caught in the twilight of superstition and rationality, an emblem of luck or ill omen, an agent of good or evil. These questions, like the cat itself, elude a simple answer. As we unravel the threads of their past and our own, we see reflections of our fears, our beliefs, and our capacity to love and cherish reflected back within their luminous eyes. Indeed, the story of the cat is a tale not just about them, but about ourselves as well. So, the next time a black cat crosses your path, will you shudder in fear? Or will you perhaps pause to appreciate the living tapestry of history and superstition purring at your feet? From ancient temples to medieval trials, from the gloom of the Black Death to the flickering glow of a jack-o'-lantern, the cat, our enigmatic companion, has journeyed with us. Their tale is steeped in a cauldron of fear, mystery, and paradoxically both bad luck and good fortune. It has witnessed our triumphs and follies. It has been adored, despised, hated, and loved. Through the ages, the cat has endured, its legacy as varied and vibrant as the many lives it's said to possess. My dear friends, our tale for this evening has concluded, but our journey does not end here. Visit us again soon. Here in our little corner of the ether we shall unravel another tale, a story imbued with fear, superstition, or perhaps the occasional sprinkle of fairy dust. We hope you enjoyed tonight's story. Join us again as we delve into the pages of history, folklore, and things that go bump in the night. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to SkaryTales. Together we'll explore the shadows and the light of the world's most enchanting and terrifying tales. Until next time, my dear friends, remember that every tale hides a truth, and every truth hides a tale. Sleep well, and may your dreams be untouched by the paw prints of a black cat.